Okay, so on this problem, we are trying to solve, and we've got this kind of situation. We've got an equal sign. So we notice we have an equal sign. So let me put it this way. So solving x squared with an equal sign. That's how we're going to identify. You have x squared and you have an equal sign. So those are kind of the crucial pieces. So how do you solve x squared with an equal sign? Step number one, get a 0 on one side. You got to get a 0 on one side. Let me bring it over here. So we have x squared equals x squared equals minus 15x minus 15. Get a 0 on one side and excuse me, make x squared be on the side where it's positive x squared. Now, what do I mean by that? Make x squared be on the side where it's positive x squared. Let me show you that in specific. Okay, here's the equal sign, which is like a wall of separation, left side, right side, right? So what I mean is you don't want to do this. This is what I don't want to do. Don't go, okay, I'll do minus x squared. This is what I'm not going to do. Cancels out, that puts a 0. This will be minus x squared minus 15x minus 50. See how he's negative? We don't want that. We don't want x squared to be on a side where he's negative. We want him to be positive. Why? It's just easier. I mean, this is technically okay, but it's just going to be a lot harder for you. So instead, we go back up time here, rewind the tape. And instead, I'm going to get rid of these guys. Whatever you do to one side, you have no choice but to do the same thing to the other. Right? We got to keep the balance. Got to keep them equal. Tracking with me. Like that. And then cancel, 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 cancel. This is 0. What's the other side? X squared plus 15x plus 15. Now he's positive. That's what we want. Does that make sense what I'm saying? So you move everybody to the side where x squared is going to be positive. Step one, get a 0, because this logic is going to be all about 0. Step one, get a 0 and get x squared to the side where he will be positive. Now, let me help you save time in the future. All you really have to do is just grab this guy and jump him, and then grab this guy and jump him to the other side of the wall, the other side of the equal sign. And basically, when things jump to the other side, just switches their sign, doesn't it? You see that? See how the minus 15x became plus 15x, and the minus 50 became plus 50? But if you want to save time and you don't want to write all that stuff, you want to go quick, just jump them. Just jump them to the other side, and their sign will switch. And it's just quick. So wherever x squared is positive, just jump everybody to his side. Switch their signs. When they jump to the other side, they switch their sign. Because of the adding subtracting, but we can just do it quick. And then you got a 0. So step one is get a 0. We got a 0. Now step 2. Factor. You know, like with the parentheses. So I'm going to come in here and go, okay, parentheses. Keeping the equal 0 still. How am I going to do the parentheses? Well, it's all about multiply, add, multiply. Remember, we need 2 numbers here that multiply to be x squared. That'd be, the front. So front times front to be front. Multiply the front with the front to be the front. X times x is x squared. And then the back, what multiplies to be 50? Well, a lot of things, 2 times 25, but I'm going to go with 5 times 10 because I'm looking at that 15 in a minute. 5 times 10. So everybody see what I'm doing? I'm doing front times front right here. Front times front to be front. And last times last to be last. That's the multiply, add, multiply. Last thing we have to do is we got to get add in the middle. What does that mean? They have to add, the numbers have to add to be 15. Well, that's easy, just make them both positive. 5 and 10 add to be 15. Got it. But we're not done here, right? When you have the equal 0, you have to do another step after the parentheses, don't you? You're not done at the parentheses. If they just said factor and there was no equal sign, I would be done now. But I have one more step because we do have an equal sign. So now each part equals 0. So I'm going to set each part to 0. So I'm going to take that first part, x plus 5 equals 0, or that second part, x plus 10 equals 0. Each part equal to 0 and solve. And then you solve. Meaning you go like -5, right? Cancels, x is -5. And then -10. You want to save time, it's always just going to be the opposite side from what it was in the parentheses, right? +5 is going to become -5, +10 is going to become -10. That'll always happen. It'll always be the opposite side than it was in the parentheses. And we're done. What are the answers? -5, comma, once you put a comma between them. -10, either order, the order doesn't matter, just stick a comma between those two answers. Those two answers are the answers that make this thing true. Meaning, if I went back to the beginning and I plugged in -5 here and -5 there and worked out the left side and right side, it would be equal. Same thing for -10. If I plugged in -10 here and -10 there and worked out the left side and the right side, it would be equal. Here, let me do one. Let me prove it. Squared. So what's that? -10 squared is 100. 10 times 10 is 100. Negative 2 negative make positive. Other side, -15 times -10, that's plus 150. -50, that's 100. 100 equals 100. See, it's true. Those are the two values that would make the equation true. That's what we just found. So there's our two answers, and there we go.